All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday after Thanksgiving. Hopefully, none of y'all went too crazy last week or over the weekend with all your leftovers or whatever it is you do. Welcome to the Mayor Shop, y'all. I'm Mike. This here's Wendy. It's Monday.
It is Monday.
Yeah.
It is Monday. And so we want to, right off the jump, we want to say hey to AJ and Pebbles.
What's up?
So glad you guys are joining us all the way from New
Straight
Jersey.
out of Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
What a
right.
blessing. What a blessing. Thanks for rocking and rolling with us. Shannon Cannings. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to call you. I don't know what to call you. Quick dog, Shannon.
All that works.
All of that
Yeah.
works. Yeah, just glad you're here.
What's up,
I
man?
guess it doesn't matter what I call you.
Yeah.
Lawan and Kyrie,
What's up?
always a blessing holding it down on the Northeast Coast. And Shelly Wilson, thank you for being here with us. We're hoping that Michelle Moore Wilson and Gerald Wilson are able to join us tonight. We got to see them today, and they've been blessing us for quite a few years in the marriage shop. So it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yep.
So it is Monday. The weather doesn't know what it wants to do down here in Evans, Georgia. I mean, 1 minute it's hot, the next minute is cold. I guess it's fall. That's what it is.
Well, today was 70, so whatever you call that, yeah, I'll take it. But I just want to, you said, the Northeast coast. I just want to say, like, let's just be explicit about it. We talking about D.C.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you know what I mean? Yeah, that's
Maryland.
all. The DMV, we got DMV represented. We got Jersey, we got
Yes.
Dallas.
Yeah, coming in
ATL's
strong.
in the house, all that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Angie Green. Oh, she said, "Hey y'all," in my Texas voice.
And of course, we got
Love it.
VA represented.
Yeah.
So that's what's up.
I mean, the
Hey.
East Coast is chiming in.
Yeah.
Where y'all at, Evans? Where you at, Georgia?
Listen, America, listen here, okay? We went to the polls today. We did vote. So we're going to kind of bring this thing on to a close here. Oh, look at that. We sure did. There it is. We're going to bring this thing to a close here, this week or whenever. Like December 6th is the actual day,
Yep.
right? So we went to early voting. It was a line. It looked like we were trying to get in a Space Mountain out there. Or whatever ride it is you ride. But yeah, it was first there's the long line that kind of wrapped around the building a little bit. Then when we got to the door, it started moving pretty quickly, and I should have known, but I fell for it. I'm like, oh, we good. And then we get in there, and it's just back, forth, running into the same
yeah.
people about a good 8, 9, 10 times.
That's
So,
good. That's good.
It was good. It was fine.
Yeah, I mean, we did our part, or as we rehearsed it, our civic duty.
as you rehearsed it, that's funny. 'Cause on the way out, there was a couple of news crews there, and so on the way out, the woman I think who runs the board of elections here, that was one who was on camera. She said, "Hey, y'all, come on over and talk to the camera." So we did. I don't know if that made it or not. I need a haircut. I can't be on camera, but I mean, I couldn't say no. Actually, what she did is she looked at Wendy and said, "Hey, come talk to the camera." And she looked at me and said, "And you can come too." The
She
story of my
said,
life.
This lovely
Story of my
couple
life.
right here. Go ahead. They look like they might want to talk. And then she said, come and tell them how amazing your experience was. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're like, yeah, we're happy to do that.
That was funny.
Yeah,
So-
it was good. It was good. But, voting is important. I know everybody, we're not going to make this about politics, but everybody has their opinions, whether or not it makes a difference, whether or not one vote can change anything or has an impact. And then there are people who have always voted from the time they were able to vote.
Yeah.
It is just one of those things. It is a privilege. And they never take it for granted. So it's like this is something that you must do,
Yeah.
and then that's passed down to their children in every generation.
I mean, I'll simply say this. I mean, voting has impact if you do it. Right? I mean, because the thing about voting, it's kind of like money, right? Like $1, like somebody offers you $1, you'd be like, well, that's nice. You might take it,
Yeah.
right? It may have an impact on your day. That $1 won't have an impact on your whole life. But what about like 100,000, million, right? Now we're talking impact, right? So it's about that collection of individuals that come together in order to move things. So
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
you're welcome.
But it's funny
Y'all
because
welcome.
when you said that, I was thinking, it's like the word. It's like the Bible, right? And so what you said was, what did you say? The first thing that you said, if you don't vote, it won't. Or what did you say?
I said if you vote, it will have impact.
If
That's
you
the first
vote.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, but it was the way you said it. But I was thinking.
I have to run back the replay.
Yeah. But what I was thinking was, if you read it or if you learn it,
Yeah.
then it will have impact, right?
Oh, yeah.
As it refers to the word and, or hiding it in your heart or
Yeah.
knowing it or coming to understanding
Yeah.
of the Bible, right? There's one
right.
one verse can have an impact, but knowing it, knowing more than one verse, knowing several books or the whole thing can have a profound impact on your life.
Yeah, because it comes together, right, to make a difference. And you asked, and there she is, Michelle Moore Wilson.
Yeah.
Hopefully Gerald's out there somewhere.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
saying we were hoping you guys were going to be on tonight because it makes our day when we go to vote to see some of our friends, and that's what we said, right? I
Yeah.
said, yes, some of our good friends are working in there, and it's good to see you guys supporting us, encouraging us, not just to do our civic duty, but also, I mean, y'all were like shouting us out, the marriage shop.
That was now that right there. The guy behind me. So we walk up. We're about to kind of present our ID and our little piece of paper.
Yeah.
And that happened. Actually, I think Gerald did that last time,
He
right?
did. He
Y'all were
did.
like, "Oh, the marriage shop's in the house." I'm like, "Can they do that? Can y'all do that?" And the guy behind me, he's like, so are you like a pastor or something? I'm like, what? Nah, bro. I'm just here, man. So
That was good.
that was funny.
Oh, you guys are amazing. So y'all had
Yeah.
us thinking, man, do we need to be in here working as poll workers?
Right, we were having that conversation.
Like,
So I'm like, is this one of those volunteer things we should be doing?
But
Yeah.
it was just great to see
Yeah.
the both of you in there, and it wasn't just you all. The Brunsons were also
The
in there.
Brunsons were in there.
Husband and wife teams in there working the polls. Making an impact. Wherever you are, we appreciate you guys and we love you guys. And so Lisa said, you said voting has impact if you do it. Right.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I was like, yes, the Bible has impact if you read it,
Yeah.
if you know it,
If you live it.
if you live it. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. You got people out here thinking you're a pastor.
I don't even know. I don't know what
we got to give it context.
Yeah.
Because before that, he was like, wow, you guys know everybody.
I know. Everybody. We spoke to like, what, 3 people? Maybe 3? I mean, is it that rare to see people in your voting precinct in line? I mean, I don't know if that was that rare or not, but yeah, he did mention that.
Yeah.
But-
And so then that happened, and it was like, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, no, we know like 5 people. They just all happen to be here at the same time.
Yeah. So we
anyway.
don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Not everybody is able to vote. Not everybody, whether it's because you're not old enough or a number of reasons why it's not possible, right?
Yeah.
And so if you can and if you're able, this is my public service announcement. Thank you all for voting because only Georgia's voting right now.
Oh, that's right. Everybody else,
You did what you needed
relax,
to do.
kick back.
Yeah,
If you're in Georgia, get up and get on out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does make a difference. The Senate has already been decided, but it still has an impact and it still makes a difference.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure that you're heard.
We
Yeah,
voting.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's kind of like it's like a good meal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's already everything's been kind of sort of decided. But
Yeah.
if there's some food left, I'm gonna get me some. So I'm just saying.
Oh, my goodness.
We getting out there. Let's get it.
Yeah. Lady T, thanks for joining us. And, you got your brother out there lifting you up again. He said some really pretty nice things about you last time they were
Yeah.
on. He said your speaking is influential.
Come on, man.
Oh,
Come on.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. We go
Yeah.
way back.
Way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, last week we talked about burnout in marriage. The week before that, we talked about burnout if you're dating or you're single. And so we did that one 2 weeks ago, and then we were like, we touched on some things. We promised we were going to talk about it. And so we shared some things last week in terms of what burnout looks like and some ways that you can recognize it and then maybe switch things up a little bit. So if you are experiencing burnout, that's something that is kind of piquing your interest, you can check that out.
Yeah.
All of our videos are on Facebook or on YouTube. So for the past 5.5 years, they're all on Facebook, minus one, like about 9 of them that I mistakenly deleted. So my bad.
It's all good. I forget.
But and then for the last 3 years, I think we've been putting them all on YouTube, either live or archived. So if you miss something, if you're curious, scroll through, you have some time on your hands, you're waiting in line at the DMV, whatever it is, scroll through, take a look at some of those videos because we're not running out of things to talk about, but we want to make sure that what we're talking about is relevant to you. And so we can bring some things back, and we have, because probably almost everything that we talk about, we could talk about more than once.
Of
We can talk
course.
about it probably at least 4 times.
That's right, because we're talking about like this is life, this is marriage, right?
Yeah.
You can go on, you can pick one topic and just run it for the whole year,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
And
That's true.
so we'll come back and hit things from different angles. If you want to give somebody an idea of what the Marriage Shop is all about, there's also a podcast. Some of you all knew that. Some of you may not, but we also have a podcast
Yeah.
right now. What the podcast is several episodes over the years that have been, I don't know, important or
Had the most engagement.
yeah, they're highly engaged, or maybe they're just some we just like.
Yeah.
And so, like, yep, only 10 people watched that, but this was a good
Yeah,
one. That's
that was a
fire.
good
Let's put
one.
it back. So,
Yeah.
so those are out there. If you just Google the Marriage Shop podcast, it'll pop up on a bunch of different platforms.
Yeah, Podvine, Spotify,
Audible.
yeah, Apple.
Audible, yeah, Apple,
Yeah.
Amazon. It's on a ton of them.
We're out there.
And so, but what that does is give folks a little bit of a sample of what the Marriage Shop is all about. And or if you just want to listen to some, you're like, man, I sure did love that one on like those 3 steps or whatever, 4 steps and all that
Oh,
business.
yeah.
Hey, it's out there. And so I think there are probably 4 or so right now, and they'll drop every other week from this point for the rest of this year and through the summer.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
And the challenge with that is we love to shout you guys out. Well, and I can't move forward without doing it, right? So every time we see somebody comment or your name pops up or something pops up, I'm like, hey, so and so, hey. And so on a podcast, that doesn't really happen unless you're calling in. So I might have to say thank you for calling in. So don't think I'm losing it over here. But if I say, hey, Lady T, we appreciate you calling into the Marriage Shop. What can we share with you tonight? Then y'all know that y'all are part of our studio audience. And that's, just play along with it. Just go along
I mean, as
with
weird
it.
as that is, because how we
Yeah,
gonna,
I don't
there's
know.
no two-way. Anyway, but I mean, we have the ability for two-way conversation.
We do.
But
And if any of you want to join us at any time, as a couple, just let us know. Send us a message. Send us a message in Messenger, and or text us, and we will put you on. We have put that out there many times.
yeah, I think they're scared. I think the people that show up in this particular platform, they want to sit back and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think they want to sit back and just kind of watch and listen, or maybe scream
they're
at the
busy.
screen,
But they're
or
also
they're
busy. So we've
I'm just-
heard from a lot of you that okay, I'm making dinner, or I'm doing something else, or I'm at work and I just have you, or I'm in the car and I'm
People,
listening.
I'm not trying to hear your excuses. That's all I'm saying.
It's all good.
Whatever. But it is. We could bring you on live like right here, right
Yeah,
now, if you
yeah.
want to.
Well, this is kind of cool. We're getting to see real time how the Marriage Shop is bringing couples together.
Yeah.
We got Lady T and Shannon kind of talking to each other. It's like love notes.
Right.
I love it.
Get what they tell us all the time. Get a room. I guess you already got a room though.
Yeah, but
So-
he's giving her a shout out, hey wifey, and she says, hey my anointed handsome hubby. Oh,
Look at that. Y'all
Love it,
see,
love
y'all
it.
see that. Y'all see
Yeah.
that like that Holy Ghost anointed love talk right there.
yeah. Okay, she says they would love to join us. All right, well when the time is right, you guys let us know, and we would love. We will be on here
Yeah.
side by side. We're happy to do it.
Actually, and we'll talk about it
Mm-hmm.
offline. But actually, the Cannings in particular, I
Yeah.
think we just need to. We're not really trying to press, but I think there's a really amazing story to be told there, and so we'll get with y'all and talk about what that looks like.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, bless you, Michelle Moore Wilson. Our goal is to really kind of do a few things, right? Give you something to talk about in your marriage, really kind of facilitate a conversation or be a conversation starter. Give you something to think about in marriage. Maybe something hadn't occurred to you where we're uncovering or scratching the surface on something that maybe you haven't talked about yet. So there's what I said. Uh-oh.
No,
Oh.
it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine?
Everything's under control.
I'm like, sometimes it's to kind of mix things up, right? To challenge you a little bit. So every now and then I'll say, hey, here's my challenge for you this week, or here's our challenge for you this week. Try to do these things, right? But ultimately, it really is to try to share our hope for a healthy marriage, right? And I think we have to be real careful with that because it's not a happy, healthy, whole marriage, right?
It's
That
not?
could be yours,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
But it really is just hope for a healthy marriage. I mean, you have to start somewhere. We want you to know that your marriage can be everything that you want it to be, everything that you dreamed it could be,
Yeah.
right? And so we don't want to put a limit on that. We don't want to say this is join us so you can have a happy marriage. Well, not necessarily.
Well, no, we would never say that. I think it's about it's about where you find your hope, where you find your happiness, right? And helping to perhaps guide people or direct people, or at least, hey, point in that direction.
Yes.
Because that's where you can find this hope for the marriage that maybe I wouldn't even say the marriage that you always dreamed about.
Yeah.
Because for some of us, we didn't have a dream, like
Yeah.
a really solid dream of what that marriage might look like. I mean, I know a lot of you can talk about what you didn't want,
That's true.
right? But even the marriage that you dreamed of, like the word says that, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can, ask, imagine, or think.
Yeah.
So that means even if you had something in your head that you thought marriage might be, God can make it more than that.
Yeah.
And so I think it's about
Fair.
directing people to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's also, I think, first and foremost, connecting you to what God says about marriage, right? God's purpose for marriage, God's vision for marriage. This whole idea of really being able to, learning how to do marriage in a way that is in accordance with his word, is in accordance with his plan, is in accordance with the guidance of the word. Not just our opinions, not just the world's opinions, not just what society says is supposed to be or it should look like. Certainly not what social media says is supposed to be or look like. And we're not here to pressure you. We're not here to judge you. We're just here to share with you because a lot of what we share with you, we are experiencing ourselves. And so that was the other thing. We're really here to let you know that you're not alone in what you're going through. And I think I've called this our virtual marriage ministry. And I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, I think you're right. And so sometimes it's like really fun, haha, but sometimes it's a tough pill.
Yeah.
And so that's just what it is, right? I mean, everybody has to have those moments. You will have those moments in marriage. So that was a long intro in the history of introductions. So
it was kind of an
we got to
intro.
get
It was
into
kind of an intro and kind of a segue. So I like that AJ and Pebbles wrote in there hashtag healthy marriage. I love it. Hashtag goals 2023. So why don't all of you that are on, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and type in there hashtag healthy marriage. And then maybe you should just put it in your phone because that's what we're hoping and we're praying for you, not just in 2023, but for the rest of your lives together.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about tonight?
What are we talking about tonight?
Well, the question is simply, do you love what you see? Now, that's intended to mean your relationship, your marriage, your spouse. Do you love what you see? Now, so in the beginning,
Wait.
wait a minute, what?
In the
I mean,
beginning.
I'm not about to quote the Bible or anything
I
like that.
know, but that,
Not
I
yet.
mean, that's
But
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see y'all.
but yeah, in the beginning when it's you meet, and whatever that meeting is, right? There's this period of time where you looking and it's like her, him, that one, right? It's kind of like in Genesis. Where is that? It's Genesis 2, when God created Adam and Eve, right? So He created the man first, right? Because if you recall, in Genesis, God is creating the earth, and on day 7, everything's created, but nothing's really growing yet because there's nobody there to work yet, and so God made man. Right, and so man is working. And he's naming the animals, and God says, "Hey, it is not good for man to be alone." Right.
No.
Now, this is important, right?
Yes.
Because man is just like about that work.
Yes.
It's like I just got to do something with these, right? And you just go to work. you don't even necessarily know that you're missing something.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
That's good. That's good.
And but you going through, and I vision it's kind of funny. Adam is going through his name, and he's just like sheep, zebra, lion, chicken. Oh, that looked like it might be delicious.
Oh no. No.
Well, okay. Anyway, that's not about. Anyway, so just naming animals, just like, oh man, I don't know, something's missing, but okay, whatever. Elephant, eagle, and God is like, not good for me to be alone. He put him to sleep, takes the rib out. You know the story.
Yeah, yeah.
From that, boom, Eve, man, wakes up and is like, whoa, okay. And so, and the word,
Like, whoa.
whoa, man. Anyway, when people say that, I'm just
I didn't
like-
say that. I just said whoa.
But
Oh wow.
in chapter 2, verse 22, it says, and the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman and brought her to the man. Then the man said, this at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be
Yes.
called woman because she was taken out of man.
Yeah.
Like, so the words that stand out to me there was the at last piece, because that suggests to me it's like, man, finally.
Yeah.
There was something he knew was missing. He just couldn't quite place it, apparently, right?
Yeah.
And so, boom, there is woman. So, think about that moment, like when whatever your moment of completion was, brothers. When you saw her, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
her, that one. It's like chicken head. It's like wrong one. Boom, there she is, right? After all this, work, and so
That's good.
yeah, thank you. And so you probably like what you saw, right? You probably appreciated what you saw and what you experienced and all that.
Yeah.
That's what the beginning of marriage looks like a lot of times, right?
Yeah, well, it's what it looks like, but it's also
Or the
what it
beginning of a
feels like.
relationship. Yeah.
There's also what it feels like, and so whether it's your marriage or you're in a long-term committed relationship, I mean, it's the same, right? There are things that kind of draw you to that person, and maybe it's the things that you dreamed of, maybe it's the things that you hoped for, and maybe it's just the things that you grew to appreciate or admire or love, and you wanted to see in other people.
Yeah.
And so, we've talked about, is there truth to daughters look for a man that's like their father, or sons look for women that are like their mothers? And there may be a little bit of truth to that. And I think it all depends on how loving that relationship is,
Yeah.
right? If the relationship between mothers and sons and fathers and daughters and mothers and daughters and fathers and sons, if it's a loving relationship, not a perfect relationship, but a loving relationship where you're demonstrating forgiveness and sacrifice and support, truth and honesty, all of those things, then they will want people in their lives that are similar, right? They want people that are going to be truthful and honest. They want people who are going to be supportive. Whatever it is you've experienced and whatever it is you've demonstrated, it's natural that they would want those things.
Yeah, and you said like whatever it is you've demonstrated.
Yes.
Oftentimes our kids will kind of seek that out,
Yeah.
and as adults, that some of the things you went through growing up, and you're like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But boom, you find yourself in these relationships that look really similar to what you might have
Yep.
experienced sometimes,
Yep.
right? So, anyway, but when it's good, like, let's go back to that moment where you're like, yeah, this is it, right? I want everything, and people say things like this. I want it to be just like this. I want it to stay just like this.
Yeah. That's good.
And that, my friends, is when it come off the rails a little bit, because I think what we know, and if you've been in a relationship for more than a few days, things change,
Things change.
right?
Yep. Things change. Things will change. And things will change again.
Yeah. What changes? What types of things change?
Everything changes. Everything changes.
Did y'all listen to Tupac? I think he told us that. Anyway, go ahead.
What? What'd he say?
I think he said something about Eric Chance. Y'all, is it? No, I'm not mad at you. Anyway, don't worry about it. Go ahead. Just continue.
Somebody let us know. So, Charmaine Williams, thank you for dropping in here. And I think there was somebody else. Can you scroll up? There was another name that I saw that I hadn't seen before, and it was
That one?
yeah. What does it say? Hold
Jungle
on.
Girl Tat?
Does it say Jungle Girl Tag?
I think that's what that
Let
says.
me see. Hold on.
Everything changes.
Jungle Girl Tag.
You better believe. You better believe your eyesight gonna change. Trust.
Yeah. So we see. Look, now we see y'all. Thank y'all for typing that in there. Hashtag happy marriage. I think it's
Healthy.
a start.
It was,
She put happy.
Oh.
I read happy.
oh, my bad.
Yeah, healthy
No,
marriage.
healthy.
Lady
That's what
T
you
put
asked for.
happy.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Oh.
hashtag healthy marriage.
Yes.
You know, whatever it is, come up with.
Oh yeah. That's happening.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
So whatever it is, come up with what it is for you, right? So we want you to start with that hashtag healthy marriage. Thanks, AJ and Pebbles. And then we want you to come up with what it's going to be for you. Those of you who are planning to be married, those of you that are engaged, right? You sit in a position of really predetermining what it's going to be. So what changes? That was the question that you asked
Yes.
me. And I said everything changes. From day one. So some of you guys, you know us, you heard our story, right? And some of what we shared was this whole, as we came into it, the expectations that we had, right? Specifically the expectations that Mike had about whether or not I would be up in the kitchen cooking, right? Cooking for him, cooking for us, cooking for the kids, just cooking in general, based on how we communicated, right? And what I often say is, I had those expectations of myself as well. But then life happens, right? And so there is your intention, and then there's reality, right? And so sometimes those things don't mesh. It could be like, oh man, when we get married, we're gonna have sex every day.
It's gonna be on. And
Every
popping.
day without fail. That's the expectation. And then there's reality, right? Things get in the way. Things happen. Things change. And so the next question, I think, and that's what you were kind of getting at, because I think it's good that you said, do you love what you see?
Yeah.
But you could almost say, do you still love what you see?
I thought about that.
Or do you love what you see even when it changes?
Right. And so that
Yeah.
still, and add those qualifiers, but I'm like, you know what? I think that this question is a timeless question.
Yeah.
Right? Because what you see today, like we got married in 98.
A long time ago.
It's a little while ago, right? And so what I see today, is it the same as what I saw in 98,
Right.
right?
No.
The weird thing is, it seems like it, right? That's crazy, but it does.
Yeah.
But what you see today may not be the same thing that you saw before. Do you love what you see in real time, right now, no matter what?
Yeah. And so I don't
Right.
want to get to what you can do and how you combat that.
Right.
But there's this whole idea
Combat
of
what?
what?
What do we combat?
If you don't love what you see?
Ain't nobody asked that.
Oh.
We're not.
That's what you're
Hold on, I want you to
talking about.
slow down.
But
No,
based
no.
on what you were saying, but it just made me think about, and
Yeah.
it's something that I share all the time, that I actually pray to be able to accept Mike for who he is every day. Because who he was yesterday may not be who he is tomorrow. Who he was 26 years ago is not who he is today. I mean, so you can qualify that any way you want, but it is a continuous commitment and renewal of being brought back to whoever he is when I wake up next to him, to accept him today. So I just wanted to share that up front.
So look, I mean, all right, baby. Now,
Yeah.
Now we still setting the table, and you slinging the main dishes out
Well,
on the
it's
table.
kind of like that, like Thanksgiving. Sometimes you just gotta take
It's
a little
just
piece
like
of the turkey off. Before
Somebody
you-
be in the
before you
kitchen, just
carve
like,
it.
here, you gonna give me some of that. You
Yeah.
gonna eat this? So
Lisa says change. I guess change is good for any of us, whatever it takes for any of y'all.
but Wait a minute. Is there
Yeah,
more?
give
Oh
us
no.
more. It was a
Okay.
dot dot dot.
All right.
Shelly says, I heard a pastor say, when you first get married, you are so crazy about your spouse that you just want to eat them up. And after you've been married for a while, you wish you had.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's funny.
That's funny. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that, in there's certain like, for a lot of people, like physically we change.
Yeah.
And, some folks are just like, hey, we're going to ride with it, whatever. Some are like, well, you could stand to lose a couple of pounds. And so, I think that this idea of that accepting, that even like welcoming or appreciating what you see becomes very important. And
Yeah.
so, but I think a lot of people have a difficult time riding the line sometimes.
Oh.
See?
Yeah. Thank you for that, Lisa. Change.
See,
I guess change is
I
good
told-
for any of us.
Thank you,
it's
Lisa.
the way you say it.
Right. And maybe with a little piano playing in the background, some keys in the back, that would have helped
Yeah,
to
that's
trigger
good,
the
that's
whole.
good.
See, look at, did you see that? That's
Yeah,
crazy. That's
that's
like way
good.
back there. That song is back there. So thank you,
That's
Lisa.
good.
Yeah. VA represent. Anyway, so like I was saying, like, how challenging is it sometimes to appreciate that person in the same way that you did at the very beginning? Because even in the wedding vows, there's words in there that suggest that things are going to change.
Yeah.
Unless you changed up your vows and you did your own little poem and you pulled all those pieces out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
things are going to change. And so when things get bad, when things get hard, when you look different, when you can't do what you used to do, do you still love what you see in that person? Right? Do you still have that, like Ruth? If y'all know the book of Ruth,
Oh.
right? I'm sorry, I'm not calling Ruth.
Yeah.
Within Book of Ruth. If you read Ruth, that whole thing, that is the way that whole thing unfolded, and the way Naomi worked that thing out and orchestrated that union.
Yeah.
That was something. But
Yeah.
that's another story. That's a story in going to get that dude. But when Boaz saw her, and brothers, if you want to know how to like take care of somebody, look at this Boaz cat. It's like, wow. But in Ruth around chapter 2, this is when Naomi had sent Ruth. And well, let me back up because I think I should set this up a little
Give it
bit.
context.
Give a little context. And so in the book of Ruth, you have Naomi, right? Who I think, excuse me, her husband died. And so her sons were supposed to take care of her. They died, 2 of them. And so they both had wives. So they have 3 widows who were together and really kind of, because in this particular time and place,
Yeah.
it's like they were just stuck. They were out there. They had nobody because the man was supposed to own the property and I get it, y'all. It's 2022, and people like, well, I can get mine. I can do my own independent. I get it, right? But this is not that time. Stress. So without a husband, they were just lost without any men there to help, kind of lead the way. So Naomi went back to her home, right? And she took Ruth, and I don't even know who the other daughter-in-law was, but actually, the other daughter-in-law didn't go because she was like, "Shh,
Yeah, but Ruth,
you're on your own."
Ruth basically told her, "I'm going with you."
Yes,
right. I mean, she kind of pledged that.
Yeah. Your people will be my people. All that
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so she was committed to her, even knowing that doing that left her kind of out there, right? And so they get back. Long story short, Naomi kind of sends Ruth to kind of check out the scene, and she sends her in to where they're harvesting, and she meets Boaz. She actually told her what to do when she met Boaz. Anyway, so Boaz kind of walks up, and he's like, the word says, Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. The Lord be with you. The Lord bless you, they answered, right? And I'm thinking, yeah, look, a good old, like a good powerful spiritual brother walking in. And so what she did, I think when he saw her, he said, who does that young woman belong to? And so I envisioned this moment, right? I'm not gonna do this all night, but I do envision that moment, like, Kyrie, where you at? Like, who is that? Right? Who is that right there? Wow, right? So the whole point being all that buildup can you? Do you still have that moment years down the road? Are you still in that mode? Like, wow, I see something here that's special, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel something here that's special.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, because you're kind of talking about the physical thing, right? And so
Yeah.
there was what she looked like, and she made herself appealing to him, right? She presented herself so that she could be seen, so that she was noticed. But then it was what she did also, right? And so there was the attention that she showed him, and so I imagine that kind of like the Grammys when Beyonce was singing "Cater to You," and who she sat on somebody's lap, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But it was kind of a, rubbing his feet, sitting at his feet, being at his beck and call, being available to him, right? And being attentive to him.
Yes.
Were you about to say something?
I was gonna say what you see if you look at their dynamic. There's like a serving that's happening, right? No physical contact. As matter of fact, she like at that later on, she kind of laid down near him, like near his feet, but
Near his feet.
she didn't touch him.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Okay.
And so there's like this reciprocal thing that's happening, like through this story. They're like serving each other before they ever were like married and like.
Yeah, and
So-
I think it is just a beautiful illustration of hope. I mean, when you really think about it, because her life as she knew it was completely done, but there was
Yeah.
hope that she would be able to find someone who would be able to fulfill that role, not just for her, but also for Naomi, and would be able to provide some things. And so it goes more into that, and the word is full of illustrations that kind of really take situations where it may have been a hopeless situation and then really kind of infuses hope, right? Not every story in the Bible has a good ending
No.
or a good outcome, but some of them do.
Yeah.
And I think this one is a very beautiful one. And so you hear like single women today saying, "I'm going to find my Boaz."
Yeah, it's
It's
true.
a thing.
It's a
And
thing.
So yeah. But I was saying that you were talking about, physically, what she looked like physically. But then there's also the acts, right? What does she do? What did he do? And you said in the beginning we had these expectations, right? There were things that your spouse or the person you're in a long-term committed relationship with, something that they did that drew you to them, right? It was something that maybe you didn't even know you liked it, but you saw them do it. Maybe you didn't appreciate certain things, but it was when they did it that you were able to see it or enjoy it, right? Maybe it was the way that they were attentive to you, like Ruth and Boaz or Beyonce. Maybe it could have been
Or
any of
AJ
those
and
things.
Pebbles.
Or AJ and Pebbles. I love that AJ and Pebbles said that they have their wedding vows on their refrigerator so
Yeah.
they see them all the time. Thank you for sharing that. We talk about putting up the fruits of the spirit,
Yeah.
putting things around you so that you are taking them in even when you don't know that you're taking them in. We have a little picture in our bedroom that has "I love you" in like 9 different languages. And so it's like, man, little things just to remind us. In our bathroom, when you're sitting on the toilet, there's a little thing that it has "Love is patient, love is kind." You've seen that, right? It's a little silver one.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of in just unexpected places, but places where you will find yourself, and maybe you will be spending some time there.
Yeah. Oh, you will. I mean, that's a
Love it.
guarantee. You
know
will
you're
be
gonna see
spending
it
time
if it's on the
there.
refrigerator.
And so,
yeah.
I never even thought about telling people like wherever it is, where your throne room is, putting up a little something on the wall
Yeah,
there
yeah.
too. But the idea of, and the reason you even asked the question of, do you love what you see? Because
Yeah.
oftentimes over time you begin to see things that maybe you don't like as much. Things that you wish were different, things you want to change, and you begin to go in and you begin to try to
Yeah.
maybe get those things changed. Hey, why don't you do this? Let's talk. Why don't you do that? Why do you do that? Why don't you do? It's all those things, right?
Yeah.
All the questions become, and so we begin to now try to, shift things in a way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What's that about?
Well, I think that's specifically true over these last couple of years since the pandemic, right? Because even if there were things that we had come to tolerate, right? Maybe things that we didn't really like, but we came to a place of tolerating them where they didn't bother us that much when we couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It highlighted those things, right? And so now it's like, oh, I always hate it when you like chew loud. And so now it's like you chew loud all the time. It's because I'm around you all the time. It's not true that you chew loud all the time, but that's just an example, right? If somebody does something, I mean, it could be a tiny thing that kind of irritates you a little bit, but then it becomes something that really irks you, and then it becomes something that annoys you, and then it becomes something that you can't stand, right? At what point do you kind of say, okay, I don't want this to go any further, and you feel like you have to do something about it? So I kind of laugh about this because I talk about how Mike and I are like our dogs. And it kind of makes me laugh every day. So in a number of ways, right? In a number of ways. So we have an Australian Shepherd, and they're herding dogs. And so our Australian Shepherd is unexpectedly calm, right? Yeah. It is not characteristic of his breed that his nature should be so calm, but he's unexpectedly calm. However, if anybody comes near me that he has not vetted, or he feels like somebody is threatening me in any way, all of a sudden he just like turns inside out. The hackles go up. He just turns into this vicious dog. It's crazy. It comes out of nowhere. And so, but it's in there, but you never see it. I mean, he's just so calm. And Ruby, who is a little Yorkie poo that we got, is just always in his face. He's like 4 times her size almost. Well, probably literally.
Like 10 times her size almost.
Well, he is huge. He's so much bigger than she is. And she will get up in his face. He might just walk through the kitchen and she's like in his face, like, just nipping at him, barking at him, just going crazy. And when we let them outside, he'll take off and he's minding his business and she's running behind him like 100 miles an hour. That doesn't make us like them. But what makes me laugh about it is, I mean, she's tiny. She switches it up. Every day could be something different. Sometimes she's calm. Sometimes she's just, going at him. She's barking at him. Sometimes she's running circles around him real fast. And he pretty much stays the same. However, Mike will say, go get Ruby. And it's like a switch flips. And he goes back and does what he knows to do. He goes and herds her, right? And so, how is this like us? Well,
please do tell. I'm like,
I mean,
edge
I've
of my
already
seat
said a couple
waiting.
of things. Oh, Shannon said you trained him to watch me. Yeah, I don't know what it's crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah, but in this way, so I have come to realize that if I'm doing something that doesn't make sense to Mike, he doesn't get it, or it's not the way he would do it, he kind of herds me. Yes.
What does that look like?
So for example, if I'm putting a lot of salt on my food, he'll say, "Man, did you taste that first? Seems like you're putting a lot of salt on your food." Yes.
Yeah, that has happened a time or two. But
if I'm putting sugar in my drink, he's like, "Man, that's a lot of sugar. You're using a lot of sugar."
Oh no! Well, I mean, come on. No, that's. I mean, are we telling the fake or the real story?
That's the real story.
Because it's like Splenda.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's sweetener.
I mean, if you know Splenda, it's like it's an exaggerated. I mean, so it's like a lot of Splenda. I'm like, how do you even take it?
Yeah. So something else that's different about us. Yeah. I am a person. Hey, don't judge me. I don't brush my teeth as soon as I get up. I like to eat breakfast first and then brush my teeth, because I hate to brush my teeth and have toothpaste taste and then like drink some orange juice, or it just changes the way the food tastes. And I figure, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and once I eat, then I'm gonna have food in my mouth at the same time, and then I'll go brush my teeth. Mike, the first thing that he does is brushes his teeth. So
now the whole world knows.
He has reminded me.
Apparently, this is like this is a thing out there. This is like toilet paper over or under, apparently, because I'm figuring, who doesn't brush their teeth first? I cannot even imagine. Can't imagine. But anyway,
so there are different ways that
yeah.
he reminds me, right? So sometimes there's subtle hints or different things. So early in our relationship, in our marriage, he would say things like, I want you to have teeth. Like later on, like when, when we're in our 70s,
that was real.
I still want you to have teeth. And
that was real.
so I mean, the first time he said it, it's kind of like, you so funny. But then he would be like looking at me like I'm really concerned that all your teeth are gonna fall out because you're not brushing your teeth before you eat. Oh my goodness. So anyway, so I say that as an example. Oh hey Lady T, I'm glad you just walked in.
And Michelle Moore Wilson does the same.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
He will come around me to kind of bring me back to where he believes I should be. That's what I'm saying when you're hurting me.
We're talking figuratively speaking, for figurative hurting.
Is literal hurting.
I have no idea what you're totally. This is all totally made up, people. It's totally made up.
I'm giving an example.
I know.
These are examples. So I'm calling it hurting, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is he makes it known in a gentle way most of the time that he's not in agreement with the way that I'm doing something, right? Yeah. And I say in a gentle way because I think that's important. Because I think there's this whole idea that when the other person is doing something, that is unlike the way that you do it, unlike what you believe or how it should be done, or something that grosses you out, whatever it is, how we tell them and how we come at them does matter.
Yeah.
It really does matter. And so you never come in an adversarial way, but you also continue to say the same thing over and over for 25 years.
But no, please, that is just not, that ain't true. So like, because I came to acceptance probably, who knows, 10 years ago, maybe 8, probably 10. Like, okay, fine. I mean, if she has gums later on in life, I just love her with the gums. It's fine, whatever. Dentures, no dentures. It's just whatever. It's a matter of accepting.
And that's true. It's a matter of acceptance. However, it does not preclude you from making the comment. And so
No, I don't make the comment though. So see, here's the thing, right? People.
Here's what happened.
What sounds more plausible? What
2 days ago. He was about to leave, and so I kind of leaned in, and he was like, "Oh, wait, why are you giving me your forehead?"
Oh, that's different. So you said breakfast. You said breakfast. You didn't talk about kissing. That's a whole different thing.
But because your response was to, I can't believe you haven't brushed your teeth.
No. It was. Well, I think what time was it? It was like, I don't know, whatever. It was late. So I was like, why am I getting the forehead? I'm not backpedaling. I'm just saying. I'm going to make sure we talk about the same thing. I'm like, why am I getting the lean in forehead thing at whatever it was, like 11 or noon or something? Like what? Yeah. So that happened. Whatever. Yeah. Guilty. Calling me guilty.
Still, salt, sugar, brushing the teeth.
Yeah.
All those things. And so the other thing that was actually kind of a real problem for us, maybe about, 9 years ago, was I'm a night person. I've always been a night person. I naturally can just stay up late, right? I stay up late. I do things. Of course, as I'm aging, I'm staying up later and later. Y'all know what I mean. As they say, women of a certain age. And so it's not insomnia, because once I go to sleep, I can stay asleep. But I guess it's a touch of insomnia.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we've never been in the same place on that. And so 2 things have happened. So in the early days, I would stay up late, and I'm not an early morning person. Mike gets up very early in the morning. And so he would get up, and I promise you, it would sound like, the one-man band, like the guy with the big old drum, and he has things, and it's like the thing on the top doing this and everything. That's how he gets up. And I'm like, are you serious right now?
I don't think it's that loud.
You see me laying here. I'm trying to get 15 more minutes, and he's just like opening blinds and letting the sun come in, and it's like the world should be awake right now. That's how it was. And so it was like, I didn't want to hear anything. And so I would not wake up. I would not be nice when I woke up, because I'm like, please, could you just Yeah. So that was a challenge. So we kind of got through that challenge, right? Things, kind of evolved. I tried different things, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, we have come back around to this thing. And so now, some nights, it's hard for me to go to sleep at all. And so, up until recently, Mike, he could come in there. 30 seconds later, his head hits the pillow. He's out. He sleeps. He sleeps through the night. There's no issue. I can stay up as long as I want. I can do whatever I'm doing. It's quiet. There's peace. Last week, for some reason, he's not staying asleep. And that would be fine, but he's waking up grumpy.
Because I wake up grumpy. I own this. I wake up grumpy if there's total darkness, there's no grumpiness, nothing to be grumpy about. However, it's like if you wake up and Wendy is in this show, she's like building little little like houses for elves. I don't know what she's doing. Just like ting, 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 ting. It's like payback. Like what is happening? It's crazy. So yes, I'll wake up grumpy if there's light. When I wake up at like 3 or 4 o'clock, yeah, I'm be like, why is there light on? Or oddly enough, lately, when the dog starts pacing, click, 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 click. It's like,
what are they doing?
What are these dogs doing? Get them out of here! It's crazy.
So it's another
Right.
change, and so I'm giving you all of that and letting y'all into our bedroom, so to speak, just to say that there are many changes that occur over time, but we can either celebrate them or we can become angry about them and resentful about them. But I'll say that there has to be some communication around it, right? You have to talk about it. You have to share how it is affecting you, because I think that there's this. I don't want him to wake up grumpy, right? Because if he wakes up grumpy, then we're all gonna be grumpy. It's like, oh my goodness, now you woke up grumpy. Now let me turn the light off, but I'm not sleepy. I mean, and then the dogs are like, let me walk like this.
Never.
We don't want you to be grumpy, but it is interesting how that thing switched. So what I had said before was, even Mike's grandfather had shared with us about menopause and this whole thing about menopause.
Yeah.
He was the first one to talk to us about it, but I think the real nugget there was that if you can make it through it, then it is better on the other side. It can be better on the other side, but most people don't make it through it. Why? Because for the woman, there's so many crazy things happening that we can't even articulate or defend or explain everything to our husbands. But we don't need reactive husbands because if
So-
they're reacting to everything that's changing, and not in a gentle way, not in a compassionate way, not in an understanding way, then there is going to be tension and there's going to be clashing and there's going to be decreased communication. So I'm sharing all those things. What?
No, I was gonna say, and so for a husband, and did this just become the menopause episode? I think it just became the menopause episode. But
It's not the menopause episode.
I mean, that sounds
we
like
can have a menopause episode.
we need to have a menopause. Hey, if y'all want us to have a menopause episode,
type it in there.
type it in and say, yeah, we need to do that. But I think that I've talked to a lot of men who kind of go through that period of time, and they don't know that's what they're looking at.
Yeah.
They don't know that's what they're experiencing. So, it's like, I think it's important to talk about not only what it looks like,
Yeah.
but what it looks like for like
Her. Yeah.
specifically, and when you're because the title tonight is "Do You Love What You See?"
Yeah.
Like in the cases of do you love what you see, even when it might look a little this is crazy. What is happening right now? when it's
don't
that
understand
moment,
it. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't understand what's happening. So I think it's important to have kind of dialogue about what's happening, because a lot of times when things begin to change, and these age-related changes in particular, like we don't want to talk about them.
Right.
We want to, just whatever, that's whatever, just deal with it, or we just gonna want to go hide in the closet and deal with it. It's like really important to understand like something's happening right now. So that's important.
Yeah, something is happening right now. And so often hearing is the first thing to go. That's
What?
on purpose. That's
Oh.
on purpose. And so even
Is
if
it?
so things like we learned being in the same room when you're talking to each other, right? Speaking clearly, not being distracted on your phone or something else, right? Not having multiple conversations at once, not dividing your attention is helpful because it can be frustrating to have to repeat yourself over and over again. And so for the person that's repeating themselves, they can become frustrated. The person that didn't hear can also become frustrated. So
Yeah.
hearing goes, vision goes. Wow.
No, I just want to. That's true, but we're kind of getting into our time, so
Yeah.
I want to dial you back a little bit because I want to make sure that we got to leave some food on that plate, and plus we got that 8 o'clock thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, vision, vision goes as well, and all those things are intentional. So if you're able to make it through all those changes together, so I'll wrap it. All those changes together, it can be better on the other side. There's a reason why we can't see, excuse me, as well as we used to, but we see enough, right? I may not see every wrinkle or gray hair, but what I see reminds me of what I first saw. Right, and so
It's like beauty face for your brain.
right. Everything is smoothed out. It looks like it did, and I have to be able to celebrate and embrace that, right? And so that's kind of how it is, and I think that it's on purpose. It's intentional.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking about the other day. It was a comedian. What were we watching? And he said, "Oh, no," or was that at the Weekend to Remember? No, somewhere.
I don't even know what we talked
remember,
about
like, one person's leg don't work. And so you're
Oh,
like,
that was Sinbad.
oh, it was Sinbad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we get to remember. That was kind of funny.
That was funny.
But you really do need each other in different ways. So we say all
That
that
was-
to say, if you've been having some tension or you've been having some stress about the differences between you, just kind of dial that back a little bit and maybe come at it with an attitude of gratitude, right? What are the things that you're thankful for in your spouse? Not the things that get on your nerves or that you don't understand or the things that, continually kind of irk you just a little bit. But what are the things that you appreciate about them? What things have changed for the better? What are some things that you thought would never change but did change? We want you to reflect on that this week in this time frame of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And Lisa said, by the way, the menopause phase can be similar to postpartum in terms of being confusing about what's going on. I thought it was a great
Yes.
point. I just wanted to highlight.
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to leave you all with this particular verse. It's Ephesians 4:29 through 32.
Yeah.
About in there. Yeah. So do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. And do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, with whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as Christ, God, forgave you.
Yeah.
So that's more of a how to have a conversation, right? And last thing, we brought up Naomi and Ruth.
Yeah.
And Ruth and Boaz for a reason, right? Because there is something generational tied to your ability to see that person and to love that person and to connect with that person, right? And so the question tonight is, do you love what you see? Maybe we should just drop the question and say, hey, love what you see, because there's generational impact for you two being together. How many of y'all knew that the lineage of Jesus, that is Joseph and Mary, Jesus' adopted father and his mother, both of those are descendants of Ruth and Boaz,
Yeah.
right? They had a son, Jesse, who was the father of King David. David had two sons.
Wait, I think they had a son, Obed, who was the father of Jesse.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And Jesse was the father of David.
Thank you. Thank you. See, that's what I'm talking about, right? You see, y'all see it. Anyway, yeah. So, and David he had a whole rack of sons, but with Bathsheba, y'all know that story. We're not getting into that tonight, but he had 4 sons. 2 of them were Solomon and Nathan. And if you follow their lineage, you will find Joseph, you'll find Mary. What?
That's good.
So, and y'all know the rest of that story, right? So it's important. That's all I'll say in terms of really being able to love what you see. This person who's going to change, who probably has changed. Love what you see and let them know. All right? So we got to
That's
pray.
good.
Let's pray, y'all. Heavenly Father, we just come tonight just thanking you for being God. Thanking you for sending Jesus Christ as such an amazing example of what it is to sacrifice and serve and die to ourselves in order to receive something that we cannot even imagine. We just ask you bless all these marriages. Ask you bless every home, every family, God, and be with them wherever they are. Bless those who are struggling, and help those who are doing well right now to just appreciate what it is to be doing well, God, and just to acknowledge you in all of it. So we thank you. We love you. We pray these and all blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, people. So we're going to get out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
We appreciate y'all. Thank you.
We do some great comments tonight. So if you think somebody could benefit from this, make sure you share it. Quan Mac Myers, thank you for tagging 2 people. We appreciate you. And we will be back next Monday to share with you again.
Yes, we will. Peace, y'all.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's your boy JC. I'm in the mood. Love, yeah. Lately I've been constantly thinking about the pain. You drive me crazy. Yeah. Girl, I want this. Got me all up in my feelings. Oh, what a feeling, yeah. I know the first time I laid eyes on you, you would be here forever. I'm not being arrogant, and I still can't take my eyes off you. 'Cause you made me better, so much better. I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime. I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime, baby. I love your kindness, I love your confidence. Ooh, you're the finest. So glad you're mine, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't wanna be with nobody else. Give me your love, that's all the love I need. Baby, you're priceless to me, yeah. To love you for a lifetime. I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime. Yeah. Whoa. Promise I'ma be around. I'ma always hold you down. Won't you come and hold me now? Won't you come and hold me now? I just got a new coupe. Yeah, I know I got a roof, but I always keep it down with you. Yeah, and I know they see, girl, you're my queen. Beauty speaks for itself loud and clear. Yeah. So throw it in the air. It's the sweetest sound to follow my ear. And I want the world to know I love you forever. And that's a long time, baby.